Hey there, YouTube. Docs from Motorcycle Service. Rawr, 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 rawr. Welcome back to the shop. Alright, where are we at, YouTube? Well, I'm right here. I don't know where you're at, but in the progress of where things are going. Today's date is August the 7th. And that's where we are in the real world. We're probably, and I'll put the little date up here, right here. We're probably somewhere toward the end of February. If we're not, don't shoot me. Where we're at is we got the garage door up. You see that little video link right here. We got the power on, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, and we got our price agreed on. Now, if you go back and look at the previous video, you'll see how we got the door up. We see that we got the power on, and we'll show you what we did to present to the electrician to help him understand what he needed to price the job. Now, let's get at it and see what we did. Out here inside the shop, things are coming along nicely. We got our lights up. You can probably tell that they look bright. Bright is probably an understatement, but couple of things. I don't know if I'd call this a tech tip or a pro tip. So, gray light reflective floor, white insulated ceiling, white insulated walls, okay? But remember, our plan is to put something on these walls around through here, all the way around, either wood or something else. And that wood's going to dampen down the brightness of this. If you remember back to my earlier video about the lights, I'll put a little tag up here. These are the same lights that we got and we used at the old garage, which was actually a garage. And we've just got them run up here, turned on, powered by a switch. Yeah, the lines and stuff look a little nasty right now because we're not sure exactly where we're going to hang them at. We kind of like where they are right now, but we're not sure, so we just got them up there by zip ties. We have our 3 power pull downs with constant power on them over here, one for each of the 3 bays. Our work table here for what we're working on, and these are the type of boxes that we're going to put up here for these lights. You can see on them, we're going to try to do something special on this end, and we got some specialty lighting up there that we tested, and those are the boxes for that. And we have our treasure box here. The treasure box has everything that was left over. Don't throw these pieces away because you never know what you're going to need. Now I'll show you why here in a minute, or in a later video I'll show you why. These are the boxes that you see on the wall over here, as they just mount like this with a screw on the inside, and we have them all the way around here. We have one up there. We're going to have to put one on this side of the door and one on that side of the door for the exterior lights, just like we did the exterior light here. And this is kind of interesting because you want to make sure this thing's up here, because this is what holds the weight of your outside light. The exterior does not, because there's a hole in the exterior where this punches all the way through to. Boxes of outlets. We have the shutoff for the compressor. We have these pieces which snap onto the end of these pieces and snap the MC cable into the box. We have screws to mount the boxes. We have wire nuts for the wires. We have outlets. We have boxes. We have more screws. We have 1-hole clamps. They're used to keep the cables nice and clean behind the wall, to run and hold the cables in place as they come down the walls, and to keep the cable from dangling as it works its way across the ceiling. We're going to try to do these barn lights We got a smaller barn light that we're going to put up here. We got these two lights that we're going to put on the outside, and sort of try to give it an old-timey look. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of learned a lot about electrical watching and helping my electrician. This is my breaker box, or as electricians call it, a circuit box. And you'll see these cables coming out of the top and coming down over here like spaghetti and running all the way over to the back side of the refrigerator here. Can't really see that one in there, but it comes to right here. And this is probably a good time to talk about that treasure box that I was talking about. So this weaved corrugated light protected cable comes into the bottom of the box, and if you can see in there, there's a black, a red, a white, and a green wire coming out of it. And if you look real carefully back there, you can see how the green wire is attached to the box, grounding it. And then you have the white wire that comes to both receptacles. And just in case you're getting, we have black electrical duct tape around this to protect that, because we don't have the face plates. This is another one of those years where, well, we didn't have the face plates when we completed this job because of the distribution problems that the United States of America is experiencing right now, and I'm not going to get into that. But you'll notice that the outlet on the right has a red wire going to it. The black wire comes to the other outlet. The white wire comes to both of them. And then the green wire goes to the back of the box and grounds it. So if you look in here, you see like 6 different wires, but there's only 4 wires that come into the MC cable. I think this was a 12-3 cable, meaning that the wires were 12 gauge and they were 3 additional wires plus the ground. So if I'm wrong, don't shoot me. But you'll also see 2 wire nuts back there. And what the electrician did with those wire nuts, if you can see them, is he split the green for the ground, and he split the white. And again, don't hold me to this, but I think the white is neutral. And I think neutral is what, I could be wrong, I think neutral is what carries power, I'm not sure. But basically 4 cables came in here, but he used wire nuts and some of the treasure box extra wire to run loops or run additional wires to these outlets. That way we have one main cable providing power to the box, but we have 4 outlets on the same circuit. Now a circuit was something that I had to get my head wrapped around. Inside your panel box, you have circuit breakers. All right, I call them breakers. The electrician calls them circuits. So we've gone with 20 amp breakers, circuit breakers. This is set up under the lights. And what's happening here is power is being provided, comes out of here, comes out the top and runs down the front. And over here from the front, it's carrying power. And over here, it comes down this into the switch box. Then it electrifies this switch. And from this switch, it goes back out one of the spaghetti messes right here, comes over, comes up here. Now you might not be able to see this because of the light, but it runs this beam all the way over to here. And it provides power to that box. You'll notice that there's a cord coming out of the left side and a cord coming out of the right side of the outlet. And the one out of the right comes down to the pull down extension cord. Well, this thing has constant power on it, because if I set up a battery tender for the motorcycle or another motorcycle or the Gator or a hot rod or what have you, when I go to turn the lights off to go in the house at night, I don't want to lose power to this. So what he was able to do was to provide the left cord being the left outlet being controlled by the outlet or by the on and off switch at the door, but the right side of the outlet has constant power. And then if you can see, I'm going to try to zoom in, you have the power from the switch coming in on the left side. On the right side you have a loop, and that loop comes out and it travels under that beam and it comes in on, if I can do it, on this side of this box, but then it loops out and goes down here to the next box. So every one of the outlets on the back side is controlled by the switch, which turns all these lights off. The right side has the constant power, and if you notice here, there's another loop coming out. It travels right over that, and it travels right there to provide constant power to the roll-up door motor. Cool. So it's kind of fascinating the way all this works. I'm getting my head wrapped around it. This outlet and this outlet are on a circuit. All right. Come over here. This one and this one are on a circuit. This one and this one are on a circuit. This one and this one are on a circuit. Now what you can't see is the power pulled for the 220. We're going to have 220 here and we're going to have 220 here, because this area here is where we're going to have the big stuff, the drill press, the sander, the grinder, where the welder will eventually go, so on and so forth. And you'll notice, I don't know if you can see this or not, I'll push them down here, but there's quite a difference between the cable I have my thumb on and the cable I just moved my thumb to. This is a 10-3 or a 10-2. Can't really see it in there, but it's 10 gauge wire. The smaller the wire number, pro tip, the smaller the wire number, the thicker the wire. So this one down here was that 12-3 I was telling you about. This is a 10-2, and this one is for the compressor. Actually, no, this is the one for the 220s, and we're going to pull another one for the compressor. The compressor is going to be on the outside of the building, but we got to hook it up now because we're going to have to do some grading on the back side of the building before we can put the compressor in there. But we're going to run the wire for it, we're going to run the disconnect for it, and then once we get the little pad poured and the compressor on it, my electrician is going to come back out and tie it in. So you might say to yourself, well, how does all this work? And YouTube, I'm telling you, man, this is only half of it, okay? We still have an exterior power here. We have exterior power here. We've got to run MC cable to these 3 outlets. We've got to run cable for this outlet here, this outlet here, this outlet here, and we're going to put a exterior outlet right here beside this one because we're going to add a lean-to the side of the building. I want to be able to run power out there without having to run a power cord under a door. Back to a circuit. You bring the wire out of the panel through the spaghetti mess over to here. You bring it in here, and then you use wire nuts. This is called a home run, and then this is called he either called it a loop or a tie-in. But you follow the home run into here, you wire them together. Well, right now they're wired just to protect them, but what we'll end up doing here is splitting them off and then tying in the loop. And if you follow this cable over here, it comes through the spaghetti mess and comes into this box, and there you go. So now these two are all together. So if you, and the key thing here, and you can call this a pro tip or a tech tip or whatever, but having dealt with a good electrician who was very patient with me, okay, the main thing an electrician wants to know from you is what are you going to be running, okay, and how often are you going to be running it. You might look at this, you might look around this shop and you might say to yourself, man, you got a lot of outlets in here. Yes, sir, I do have a lot of outlets, because I've never been in somebody's shop who didn't tell me that they had wished they had put more outlets in. But the way we have this wired with that big old box and breaking these circuits out, we're going to be able to run stuff in here all the time without tripping breakers. Okay, so with these 20 amp breakers that we have in here, we could have something running out of over here. We could have batteries charging over here. We could have the TV powered up there in that corner and have it on. We could have, I don't know, we could have a specialty light or something plugged in here. We could have the battery operated tools, batteries being charged there. We could have, I don't know, I mean, it's whatever we want. We're going to be able to do a lot of stuff in here and not have to worry about tripping breakers. So the main thing here is to make sure you know what you need to run in the shop. And here's the cool part. The cables, the MC cables, the spaghetti mess that I keep mentioning, they're going to be able to carry more amps than the breaker is going to allow it to carry. I guess that would be draw. So if we find out that we got something plugged in over here that's always kicking a breaker, we can come back and put a 25 amp breaker in it and not have to worry about it. Makes sense? Okay. So that's where we are today. Day 2 of the final wiring. We hope to pull all the wire from the panel here down this wall to the 3 outlets over here, and we're going to be putting in another switch here in theory. So I'll go ahead and give you a little secret. This end, once we get everything done, is going to be like a bar. We're going to stick a bar over here where this tape is at. Refrigerator will be there. TV will be up there. We're going to do something with this wall. I'm not sure what it is, but from this post over to the corner, around over to here, and over to right here is gonna, or right here is gonna be sort of like a bar area, a relaxing area. And that's gonna be a couple years down the road, because we need to get this motorcycle, we need to get Hot Donna running. But we're hoping to get all this cable pulled for the 4 outlets that go here, 1, 2, 3 in the exterior. And we need to get the outlets and the face plates put on all of these over here. So the upstairs is done, lighting's done, the pull downs are done. All right, so you saw we's busy on that day, and got a lot done. So where are we going? All right, in the next video we're going to pull more cable, we're going to put up more boxes, and we're going to sort of tie the 2 days worth of work in together. My electrician liked to pull everything and then wire it up on one end, or bring it into the panel and then wire it together in the boxes. There you go. As always, rate, comment, share, handle your business, save some money, ride safe, and cut.